We proceed with chapter 60, which is protecting resources and the national interests. So on this chapter also we proceed with our session by discussing this chapter which concern about protecting. When we are talking about protecting, it simply means that you are trying to do as much as you can, a lot of things that will not harm or that will not cause any negative activities about a certain thing. So that is protection. So resources are the worth which we own, any precious things which we own. So protecting resources and the national interests. So let us read the introduction of this chapter. That's why if we can read this introduction, it will help us to know key issues which we are going to discuss in a particular chapter. So don't start reading any chapter without look the introduction of each chapter. That's why each chapter or each introduction, each chapter has been briefly by using has been tried to narrate or to show key issues which are available in a particular chapter. So in standard 4 you learned about being responsible and caring for resources and fulfilling your duties at family level. So you also learned to cooperate with other people in order to fulfill responsibilities at school and at home. In this chapter you will learn about the importance of protecting national resources. So that is the first issue. We are going to discuss about the importance. What are the importances which we may get when we will protect our national resources? Also, as the duty of every good citizen. So, if you are a good citizen, you have to protect every natural resource or any national resource which we have. Also, in addition, you will learn how to identify national resources, use them and protect the available national resources. You will also learn how to denounce the behavior of not protecting public properties. So that is key issues which we are going to discuss on this chapter. So a first one is we are going to discuss about what are the national resources. Also, we are going to see the advantages of protecting them. Therefore, we are going to see what are the negative impact that can happen when you will fail to protect our national resources. So if you want to be considered as a good citizen in a particular country, you have to protect natural resources which found in a particular country. So that is those are the key issues which we are going to discuss on this 6th chapter. So here we will start looking the meaning of resources. What is the meaning of a term resources? So resources refers to the properties owned by an individual, a group of people, an institution, or a nation. So any property, any precious thing that is owned either by an individual or a group of people or a group of people, or or any certain institution, or a national. So if that property is already, as I was trying to mention, is considered to be as a resource. So that is the meaning of resources. So those properties which are owned by a person, or a group of people, or an institution, or a national at all. This includes land, people, forests, mountains, and the historical sites. So the properties which we are talking here include the following things, which are, the first one is land. Land is one among of resource, and this is natural resource. Also people. People is another example of property or resources. Also forest. So we have a lot of forests. So if as a national, or as a group of people, or as an individual owns a forest, he or she must consider that is owning a resource. Also mountains. For example, in Tanzania we own Mount Kilimanjaro. So that is a property, that is natural resource which we own as a national. Also another resource is historical sites. So when we're talking about historical sites as a special areas where historical things are stored. So you can visit there so as to learn each and everything concerning about our history. So for example, if we can visit several areas which are considered as a historical sites, you will meet with a lot of issues. So those issues those areas are owned by the national, or an institution, or a group of people, or a national at all. So some resources such as houses, farms, water taps, and electricity are found at home. So here there are other properties which have been added here as examples of properties that can be owned by a group of people, or an individual, or an institution, or a national. That is farms, and these are owned at the home. Resources are very important for development. Therefore, it is crucial to protect them. Several ways can be used to protect and conserve such resources. Some of these ways are explained below. So here you may get some issues on that. If we want to protect, or if we want to develop, if we want to move on from low level of life up to the upper stage, we have to protect the property which we own. We have to protect the resources which we own. If we can protect them, it will help us to develop. It will help us. It can help, or they can help us to move from low level of life up to the level that is considered to be good than that which we have started looking. So that is another issue. So there are several ways that can be used so as to preserve or protect those resources which we have. So the first is several ways can be used by protecting and preserve national resources, avoiding vandalism and reporting those who destroy resources. So if you see any person who tries to destroy any property, you have to report it to a certain authority so as to stop it. That's why if we will leave him or her continuing destroying a such property or a such resource, can make that resource to appear to disappear. So you have to report to the particular place that can help you to protect. So there are several ways that can be used so as to protect our resources which we have. So that is another issue. Also, we can protect mountain, like mountain Kilimanjaro, Olduvai Gorge, Rufiji River, Kilombero River, Ihefu, and the Kihansi waterfalls are good examples of resources. Others including historical sites like Amon and other issues. So those are the ways that can be used to protect natural resources. Sulu not be engaged in some activities around the rivers or lakes. That's why if we can introduce some human activities, we can make a certain river or lake either to dry or to be seasonal river or seasonal lake. So that is advantages which we can get when we protect those resources. So you may see here there are several pictures of people which try to show the nearby Mount Kilimanjaro. So here there is open space here where people try to plant some trees as one way of protecting Mount Kilimanjaro. So there is several activities that you may measure yourself so as to know. Also, another natural resources or national resources is minerals. So in Tanzania we have several minerals like Tanzanite. Tanzanite is one among of minerals which are extracted in Tanzania, so it is considered to be as national resource. So here you have to find out other minerals like gold, Tanzanite, diamond, aluminium, limestone, iron, salt, and potassium. Those are the minerals which are available in Tanzania, and these are considered to be as natural resources or national resources in Tanzania. And those minerals are used to create or are used to make precious things like watch as appear here, and other issues that can be used by using those minerals. Also land, as I was trying to mention, forest. So we have several forests. I think you can pass through here, you can read here so as to know examples of forests which we have. Natural forest, water, we have a lot of source of water in Tanzania, or water bodies like ocean, Indian Ocean, like lakes. We have Lake Tanganyika, Lake Victoria. We have rivers like River Fiji, and among others. Also, we have another national resources is national parks. National parks, I mean hifadhi za taifa. National parks refer to place where animals live. So when we're talking about national parks, refer to those areas where different animals live there. So that is a national park. So in Tanzania we have several national parks. The first one is Serengeti, Mikumi, Ruaha. These are good examples of national park which we have national parks in Tanzania which we own as the natural resources. Mountain and the valleys like mountain Kilimanjaro. People, there are several people in our nation. So that is another issue. That is another issue of who? That is another example of national resources. So there are importance of national resources, like it is a symbol of, or it attracted tourists, or source of getting foreign currency, and among advantages which you may get through those national resources. So there is a task here concerned on this chapter 6, which you have to read it or to do, so as to know those natural resources which contain or which are available in our country or in our Tanzania as a national. So you may pass through or find out any question that twice you that demands concern about protecting, or this chapter about those national parks and natural resources which we have, as I was trying to mention, and the factors that affect those natural resources or resources which we have. And there is example here: write true or false statement of write true for true statement and a false for false statement. Minerals are the main source of national income. So you may say this: is it true or not? So according to the knowledge which you get from this chapter, you can answer this question. Also, another is, every person is responsible for protecting national resources. I do remember when we were discussing this chapter, we learned that every Tanzanian is responsible or has a responsibility to protect those national resources which you have. So if you have catched me, if you have caught me, you can answer this question. That's why through this you can answer this question. That's why if you were trying to follow, you were trying to follow me step by step, I think you can know about it, or you can answer this question. That's why it comes within our session as we do. So let us end here in this chapter. We will proceed with another chapter.
Purchase your tracks today.